So you've probably seen a lot of PS5 Pro videos, but today we're gonna do something different. We're not gonna just sit here and talk about numbers and specifics. We're gonna talk about the feels. Does it actually feel like an upgrade to own a PS5 Pro if you've already got one? And we're gonna try it in a bunch of different scenarios. We're gonna do some side-by-sides, the old versus the new, but we're also gonna try on a bunch of different TV sizes. So if this is a major upgrade, will it even benefit you based on your TV size? Let's get into it. All right, so first we're gonna start off with some games that are optimized for the PS5 Pro. We're gonna start off with Dragon's Dogma 2. All right, so we've got our game open. These are two 65-inch OLED TVs. Now, the color might be slightly different between the two of these. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for detail and frame rates. And real quick, when you jump into the settings, you'll notice on the regular PS5 over here, we've only got 4 options, but on the PS5 Pro, we've got this 5th option, and that's PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, which is basically what uses AI to enhance the image quality. All right, so we've got our character over here, and just a quick eyeball test. I'm definitely seeing more detail over here. I'm looking at this lantern that he's got, the stitching on his clothing, and even like the facial hair texture. Whereas with this, the stitching on his clothing looks a lot softer, the lamp looks softer, and you're seeing less detail on like the facial hair. But when you just take a look at like the background, I'm not seeing anything noticeable, especially if I were in gameplay. All right, let's go up to this griffin. Okay, yeah, there's more detail over here for sure. But that's not to say there isn't any detail on this guy. It's just, this is sharper. This is definitely sharper. And check this out, look at the detail on that compared to the individual leaves from the trees on this. So from what I'm seeing right now, it's like the finer details. All right, now it's cool that we can see that up close and personal, but let me grab a chair, because who's sitting that close to the TV? All right, so if I'm over here and I'm just playing, I'm looking around, looking at my character, looking at the griffin. I'm doing the same thing over here. I think this is a normal distance to be away from your TV, and I'm seeing a lot of detail on his clothing with the PS5 Pro compared to the standard PS5. So that's definitely one thing, and it also feels smoother. Yeah, just looking at the movements here, this definitely feels smoother. Am I killing myself here? Okay. Oh shoot, look at that. Even the waterfall. Do you see how smooth that looks? From a frame rate perspective, that looks so much smoother. So from the feels and eye tests, PS5 Pro is a clear winner to me. It is just so much smoother. The graphics everything does look sharper, and there's more detail even at a normal playing distance. So when it comes to like a game like Dragon's Dogma, this is a very clear winner to me. We're doing Horizon Zero Dawn remastered. All right, cool. So now let's take a look here. Are we seeing any clear detail differences? You can see it all in her freckles. You can see the individual spots. Here, you can tell she has freckles, and you can see it, you know, if you get close, you can see that she has freckles. They're far more visible, and the texture of her skin.
That looks like it has a beauty mode turned on.
That's a good, I like that. That's fair. That's good for the folks out there to understand it. You nailed it, Jay. So look at this.
Oh.
Right? And then look at it here.
Oh, that's a huge difference.
So they're both unbalanced, but this one is balanced Pro. Now here's the thing, you can change the graphics to favor resolution, and with this, it gets closer to what we're seeing on the PS5 Pro. Still doesn't match it. When you're looking at that little fur thing, there's definitely more detail, but there's still way more detail over here. It feels more realistic. Yeah, so we are favoring resolution over here, and you can definitely feel it in gameplay. And let's switch that up real quick. So now back to the field test. With everything we know about Balanced Pro, you're supposed to get the best of both worlds, best frame rates, best graphics, right? But for some reason, that one looks a bit smoother from just the eye test. So we're gonna have to look at some numbers. All right, so we have to bust out our monitor real quick. So right now we're in Balanced Pro, and it looks like we're hitting a clean 120. And over here, we are hovering around the 70s, low 70s, high 60s. Huh. That's where the eye test fails you sometimes. But that just goes to show you that with the regular PS5, depending on the game, it might be all you need in terms of the frame rates. It might still feel good, even though the numbers might be different, but I felt like it was super smooth. Jay thought it was super smooth too. So,
I have bad eyes, so.
Oh, Jay, come on, man. Killing my argument here. All right, so right now we've got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on, and this is in the versatility mode, which is, you know, the pro mode. That's in 4K graphics mode. And Jay, I know you see the difference. Gene, I know you see it too.
Yeah, I see.
Oh, get out of here. What? So that's another thing. This seems to be very well optimized for the PS5 Pro. I mean, that's Final Fantasy's forte, like pouring into the graphics. So I'm not surprised with the extra power that the PS5 Pro offers, that they're able to push it even more. And like, just look at the sword. Look at the sword details.
That's way more smoother on PS5
Yeah,
Pro.
listen, oh my goodness. Because this is the 4K mode. So while you're getting the best graphically here, you're getting like 30 frames per second.
I think this is actually the first time I'm seeing a difference on camera.
Oh, you see it on camera too,
Like
huh?
this.
Now, if all games felt like this different, it'd be a no-brainer. PS5 Pro is a massive upgrade. So with that being said, let's see something that's not optimized for PS5 Pro. My goodness, that's disgusting. Now, it's one thing to have the game optimized for the PS5, but there's actual hardware differences as well. So just overall better specs on the PS5 Pro. So let's see if that translates to anything when it comes to a game that's not optimized. So from a frames perspective, I'm not feeling too much of a difference. Now, if we're on a game mode that focuses on frame rate, let's see. Yo, am I tripping or does the PS5 Pro look smoother?
Yeah, I feel like PS5 is still like choppy a little bit.
Yeah, it does feel choppy. PS5 Pro looks much smoother. And I've always had frame rate issues when it came to Final Fantasy 16, where it never really hit those frames consistently. It looks like it's finally doing it here. I'm at the end of this game. It's never felt this smooth, even in performance mode, which is the mode I usually stay in. So we do know that this is a solid improvement compared to the normal PS5, but not everybody has the same size TV. So let's see if we still get that same feeling of it being really nice with a bunch of different TV sizes. All right, so we're gonna start in a bit of a ridiculous fashion. We're starting off with a 98-inch TV. We're going to see, you know, how well all those details translate when you have like a really huge screen. Now, yeah, I mean, it's a real thing though, right? When your screen is just too big, you know, things just start not looking as good because you're stretching out your image, right? But this still looks very, very clean. Yeah, no, on a big TV like this, no complaints. This looks awesome. All right, let's go down a notch. Let's bring it to 77 inches, a size that's actually getting pretty popular. All right, so now we're looking at a 77-inch TV, and I gotta say, it looks absolutely fantastic. Tons of detail in the surrounding areas, lots of detail with the characters right here. And a regular PS5 would look good on this too, but there are just so many small details that I honestly think do enhance the overall experience, and it's so smooth. Getting this kind of detail at 60, whew. Yeah, oh, the textures, man. Like, you could tell he's wearing leather, you could tell he's wearing a sweater. Yeah, man, that's 77, check. Now, we already know what it feels like to play this on a 65-inch screen. Still able to see a ton of details. Everything looks fantastic. It is like the most common screen size I'd say about right now. Now we've got 55 inches over here. I'd say about this far. Let's see. All right, so the game still looks really smooth, but it's a little bit harder to see if I'm being honest with y'all. All right, so fighting still looks smooth. We're still getting that 60 frames, no problem. I definitely do think you want a bigger screen though. Like, I think you want at least 65, because right now I'm seeing this at 55. And yeah, there's a lot of detail and everything, but...
Now, worth it for people that have like some kind of desktop set?
No, that's different. A desktop setup is different because you are naturally closer to the screen. So you're able to visually, that's why I moved back. So if you have like a 55-inch TV, it might not be worth it, but if I was sitting up there, I'm seeing everything, you know? Okay, so it still looks good. And I think where there are tighter shots in the game, like maybe a cutscene, you're gonna be okay. But I think in the natural flow of gameplay, you might have a harder time seeing some of those finer details that get enhanced from this. So this is 55 inches, and I'm kind of questioning the benefits here. Let's move on to something even smaller. Let's see 43. All right, so now we're looking at a 43-inch screen. I don't know how this is gonna go, but we've been playing Final Fantasy this whole time. We'll keep it up. It's a good looking TV though, so gameplay looks smooth. I'm seeing some detail here. That looks pretty decent. Okay, so there are details that I can't see. Like right now, I can't see what his sweater looks like. Maybe if I get really close. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, there's way more detail here. So in a game where, you know, you're just not up close, you're gonna miss out on some of those details. Like this sitting on the bed, you're not getting much out of it unless it's like a close-up shot. All right, so here's my take, you guys. The PS5 Pro is legit. It's going to really change the experience depending on the game you play, but that's the problem. A game like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, you're gonna see massive leaps and improvements of like the frame rates, the graphics, and even the games that aren't optimized, you're going to see better overall performance. But based on what we saw with the different screen sizes, I don't know if I'd really care to grab one of these if I'm using a 55-inch TV or smaller. While you can see, you know, the details if you get up close, if you're not up close, you're missing out on a lot, and that defeats the purpose. But PS5 Pro, definitely legit. It's not for everyone, but I like this thing.